Wait, so our church literally has overseas, not here, primary education, like kindergarten through high school?
Over a dozen elementary schools and middle schools, yeah.
Why isn't the church doing this in the U.S.? One's called Moroni High School? Holy smoke.
Yeah. This is a lasting, you're breaking cycles of poverty. You're actually changing the future. You're educating these people. It's one of the coolest missions of the church that we don't talk about. We don't hear about this a whole lot.
Looks like a bunch of just unadulterated patriarchy to me, baby.
I think it's because
patriarchy.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to WardRadio Morning Edition. I am your host, Cardinellis. Today, I'm joined in the studio by Kwaku L. and Jonah Barnes. And today, we're actually talking about some really cool church news here. The church is blowing up with some secondary schools. You called them, Jonah, in Polynesia. And our Latter-day Saint Polynesian brothers and sisters, looks like they're having some fun and the church is doing good things out there. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it, Jonah? This looks pretty cool, man.
Yes, well, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints hasn't always been welcome in public schools. And so back in the day, or when we were proselytizing places that didn't have public schools, we had to come up with our own options. And so the ones that we have in the Discord here, there's a lot from Polynesia, which Elder Rasband was just visiting the other day. He went to this school down in Samoa, which is one of the church secondary schools that we planted there as we were proselytizing.
Now, what's a secondary school? Does that mean like not K through 6? It's more like middle school and high school, but it's church-owned, just like BYU is church-owned? Is that what you're saying?
It means not. What I mean to say is it's not university. It's not a college. It's
cool.
Basic elementary school, middle school, high school. The church has a lot of these, actually.
Really? I didn't know this, dude. I didn't know this.
They have 700,000 people in the CES program. And
wait, so our church literally has overseas, not here, primary education, like kindergarten through high school?
Over a dozen elementary schools and middle schools, yeah.
Why isn't the church doing this in the U.S.?
Well, we did. Funny thing, actually. We did. Which is another fun fact about church history. In Idaho, we weren't allowed to attend public schools.
So that's why Rexburg built Rick's College, which became BYU
Academy.
Idaho.
And actually, there's one little photograph in the Discord.
Okay.
Did I put it in the Discord? Yes.
I hope you did.
In the general Discord of a little girl in a dress with a corsage.
Okay.
Corsage? It's called corsage?
Yeah.
She's looking at the camera there. And this little girl right here is posing for her graduation photo from Bannock State Academy. So, this photograph right here is actually of my great-grandmother. She met her husband there at the Bannock State Academy. This is her graduating from high school.
Oh, wow. Rock on. Okay. Okay.
Looks real happy to be leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
your grandma doesn't look too happy, bro.
No, I think she was the sweetest woman.
Well, back then you also had to stay prone for 3 minutes as the pictures
photo.
were exposed. So it doesn't do her justice.
Yeah, but that academy eventually grew into BYU Idaho. Now we have a bunch of other schools around Polynesia, high schools, elementary schools, middle schools, things like this that educate kids way out there, and it's a full-blown school system.
Wow, look at this. One's called Moroni High School. Holy smoke. Yeah. Moroni High School? What's their mascot?
Good question.
The Captains?
So they have Liahona High School, which is a very famous one in Tonga.
Okay.
And it was established in like 1948 or something, a long time ago. And it's a big school. And we planted that guy. That's Liahona High School. And then there's, let's see, what are the other cool ones? Moroni High School.
Yeah, here's Liahona High School.
There's a Liahona Middle School, and they're all over Polynesia, or they're called Church Primary School. They're in Fiji. They're in, Samoa. And
dude,
Kiribati.
I gotta tell you, freaking the Polynesian garb is just plain old cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got some really cool Polys in our stake, and they just show up with the full blown lavas, and it's just like, man, you guys can just rock it.
Yeah.
Like I would look like a fat Scottish man with a undersized kilt. You know what I'm saying? If I tried to do that. But these shredded poly dudes, they just show up and it's like, man, You guys look just so freaking cool.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Well, it's what we had to do. We're going to these places that didn't have schooling at all.
Yeah.
And we're planting, churches around there and said, well, we got to educate these kids. And education's big in the Church of Jesus Christ. We're big in education. So we planted these secondary schools. Now the question becomes, with the complete full-fledged collapse of public education in North America, will we do the same thing here?
Dude, I got to tell you, man, I welcome the day. If the prophecies are true, my patriarch in Argentina gave one of the most incredible lessons on education when I was on my mission. And dude, when that topic comes around in the queue, you're like, how do you make an entire church talk out of this? You know what I'm saying? He got up and he literally pointed and he said, like, Kwaku, what do you do? And then the Kwaku of that congregation said, oh, well, I'm a plumber. And then pointed to Jonah and said, Jonah, what do you do? And he was like, oh, I'm a doctor, And the patriarch went through and asked every man what he did. And he said, if our prophecies are correct and the church is building infrastructure for these prophecies, we will be the backbone of society in the latter days. And then he pointed to the Kwaku, who said, like, oh, I'm an event coordinator. He's like, could you coordinate an event that contained the priesthood of the world to facilitate the general conference of Jesus Christ? And the guy was like, well, that might be kind of a tall order, and then he's like, then you need to go get enough education and experience that you could do that. And then to the doctor, and then to the plumber.
Jeez.
To the plumber, he was literally like, could you fix all of the plumbing in the conference center? And he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, then you need more education.
Wow.
And then and he literally went through and he pointed at the doctor who was a heart surgeon. He said, there's only one man in this room who maybe has enough education to be the overseer of a medical system. And that's this doctor, who ironically was a dry member that hadn't been baptized yet. You know what I'm saying? And the patriarch just thought was baptized. But he was actually the husband. He got baptized when we were there, and he credits he credits a lot of our ministry with that. And for that, I am eternally grateful, because that was a beautiful experience that I was able to be a co-participant in. But anyway, it was one of the most powerful lessons where he literally said, if the prophecies are true, we will be the backbone of society. And unless within your profession you are educated enough that you could provide support for that backbone, you are not educated enough. Go get more education. And by the way, you don't need to pay for this. You can read books, be self-taught, go to libraries, job shadow, get church perpetual education fund money. Like, he laid down such a thick law that I was like, hot damn,
that's
dude.
cool, dude.
I remember that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, the church has far more school is way more into this than we realize. And in education, maybe it's not in your local community, but the church has BYU, the Salt Lake State Academy, BYU Idaho, Snow College, Weber State University, East Arizona College, Utah Tech University, University of Nauvoo, University of Deseret, BYU College in Logan, the church university called Young University, which was absorbed in the University of Utah, Church College of Hawaii, Church College of New Zealand, the Benemérito de las Americas. I mean, it has these things all over the place that have been absorbed or renamed. But the church has planted academies and universities all over. Our history is actually ripe with
Haley
this.
Rawl thinks that's evil and wrong that these Polynesian children are being educated.
Haley Rawl.
She thinks they're harmful now.
Oh,
wait, I don't understand. Wait, Haley Rawl, you mean?
Yeah.
Girls camp. Yeah. You wouldn't recognize her without a swig bottle.
Jeez.
Or it's not a bottle. It's a swig.
You wouldn't recognize her unless she was covered in her money and privilege, looking down upon you for being a poor peasant.
Savage, man. So anyway, wow, this is good to hear. Anything else we're missing before we move on, bro?
Well, I'm thinking that this calls for a high school football championship. We need to get these.
The Polynesians are going to win, bro.
Well, I know, but which ones?
Like,
we've got.
Who are they going to go after? Those skinny guys in Lehi, Utah? We've got
polys in Kiribati and Fiji and Tonga and Samoa and New Zealand. Like, we should have a church-wide.
Dude, one of my jokes that landed best when I was a BYU student and we founded Humor U was I literally said, I have a unique testimony of Joseph Smith. So you can make religious jokes on BYU campus that land because everybody's Mormon in a different way. So non-members may not get this, but I was like, I have a very unique testimony of Brigham Young. I'm doing a dry version of it now because I can't regurgitate the joke 20 years later. But I literally said, I know Brigham Young or Joseph Smith was a prophet for X, Y, or Z reason, but I know why Brigham Young was a prophet. Because the first thing he did was send missionaries to Samoa, Tonga, and Hawaii. And let me tell you, when the Gadiant robbers are coming and I got a 50 cal mounted to the top of the truck and we got to make it to the stake center with the food storage because those Gadianton bros are taking over everything during the zombie apocalypse, I don't want to be next to skinny little like Roger Allred and Jason Smith from Spanish Fork, Utah. I want to be next to
Maunga Fafakau.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to be,
I want to be next to Kanalu. Whatever.
Right.
Like I want to be next to the biggest, the biggest Polynesian dude out there. And that's why I know Brigham Young was a freaking prophet.
That's right.
Because these guys are based, man.
Yeah. Now, if you want to read about Elder Rasband just completed his big ministry around there. So he was going around to all these places where we just oppress people. We just go into Fiji and we just oppress them with our patriarchal religion. Like Haley tells us, he went around and he ministered to all these people in these schools. It's a beautiful thing. He visits these places. They're giving education to these children who can't get it elsewhere and building up good young men and young women. And this is a lasting, you're breaking cycles of poverty. You're actually changing the future. You're educating these people. It's one of the coolest missions of the church that we don't talk about. We don't hear about this a whole lot.
Looks like a bunch of just unadulterated patriarchy to me, baby.
I think it's because
patriarchy.
I think it's because it's like slow. It's like subtle. Like you can give somebody money and you can build a well or you can build a school, but the actual work of changing generations of people who had no education whatsoever to now they're going off in the world and they're getting college educations and they're becoming educated, breaking the cycles of poverty and rising up. Like you can't capture that in a TikTok.
Okay. And here's one thing we got to do. LeBron, my boy, LeBron James, if you're listening.
Oh, he listens.
If you're listening. Okay. We got to hook up the church with LeBron James. Cause did you hear about LeBron James school?
No.
I got audited, and last month the APS school board announced that no current 8th graders at the I Promise school have reached state benchmarks in math since they were admitted as 3rd graders. The school, which opened in 2018 and serves at-risk students, is supported by the LeBron James Family Foundation.
Oh.
So maybe LeBron, he needs to be donating. To Moroni High School. That's where he needs to be donating. All right. I would be curious to see the statistics of how well these church schools do, because apparently the benchmark is really low. You can get a billionaire basketball player's money and not have to graduate at state reading levels. One student that was there for 5 years. Meanwhile, we are the patriarchy and horses as as we're funding secondary schools in Polynesia. That is hilarious. So anyway, anything we missed? Anything you want to add? Kwaku, Jonah, we covered everything.
Well, Haley Rawls hates Islanders. That's not true. That's not true at all. Is
that like when Kanye West blurted out in the middle of his...
George Bush doesn't care about blood.
Yeah, that's funny. So anyway, let us know what you guys think about
every time.
Don't say it.
Every time a Tongan child receives an education, Haley Rawls loses 1 subscriber.
The Marie Antoinette of anti-Mormon, ex-Mormonism. So anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, for this and more, please check us out at WardRadio.com.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring.